Hello, this is a prepaid debit call from an inmate at the El Paso County Criminal Justice Center.
I'm very like fashion. 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 I'm very like fashion.
These ninjas keep coming in my room and they force me to braid my hair and join the Mexican Mafia, but I don't want to be in there, but they have me put my hair in like 1,000 braids and they wouldn't leave my room.
We live the life.
I ate 2 bags of other interest. Okay, bye.
Hey. Happy Monday, everybody. Me and Allie are back. We're going to do some more video visits from September of 2021. All Amy Lang, all the time. I can hardly wait. I don't want to, I kind of have to get the show on the road because I pinky promised that I would have Allie off at 11 p.m. on the dot. And y'all know I don't like to be breaking pinky promises. So let me add Allie and we'll get started. But I want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it tremendously. I want to also say thank you, Cement Shoes, for joining membership. And thank you to Teacup Kraken for gifting a membership. Thank you. All right. Let's add Allie. Hello. How are you?
I'm okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, perfect.
How's my friend? How's my pal?
He's doing all right. He's pretty good. I think he was like, I don't know. He's not too upset about think he was expecting he might have to have surgery, so he's doing okay today. He's doing okay today.
Well, bless his little heart.
But I mean, we are tired. Okay, we just got home. We've been gone for like 12 hours and we just got home. But so we're just kind of exhausted. I got some new Bath and Body Works things. I'm putting my soap out and stuff. They have their fall stuff out and their Halloween stuff.
Ooh.
But I'm not ready for summer to be over. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. But I got to tell you, I freaking love that new intro, the fashion and the ninjas. And yeah, it's just awesome. I love it. You did a great job.
Thank you. That's not new, babe. That's always been the intro.
Wait, she always said that I'm so fashion part in the one that we had for the calls? Oh my God.
Yeah,
I never noticed that before.
Yeah, I had to go to that body cam footage. And where she explains it, and I had to clip it and get rid of all the background noise, and then just, add it
Well,
repeatedly.
so because you're always like changing your intros and stuff, I feel like every time you go live, you've created like something new. But yeah, I never noticed that before. Like I've always like a part of her dancing where it like zooms in on her face and stuff. That part I've always paid really close attention to. But I was like, dang, is this new? I thought it was new.
Oh, I'm very like fashion. I had to do it on the beat and everything.
And she says it over and over. I can't believe I never heard that before. That's freaking crazy. Yeah. I've always, I guess, just heard the music there. But anyways, no matter what, it's a freaking awesome intro. So I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, babe. I appreciate that. I can't believe that Bath and Body Works already has their fall stuff out. What did they have anything new good?
Yes,
you know what I mean.
They do have a couple. Yes, they had a couple new scents. They have, I don't know if last year, I don't remember seeing this one. It's called Candy Apple Cauldron. You would love that one, I think. It's green apple, but it's got some like spice to it and some sweetness. It's really good. And then they have a new vanilla scent that's out, but they're candles, and like they just got like the candle toppers and the candle holders and the air fresheners and stuff. They have so much really cute stuff. You ought to go look later.
I need to go look. All right. Well, when we last left Amy and Letecia, they were talking nonsense, and they're probably going to be still talking nonsense. So we'll just join with whatever nonsense they're talking, and we'll just talk a little nonsense back at them. How about that?
It sounds like a plan. And hey, you guys in the chat.
All right. Let me turn on the closed captions. And push play.
I thought I would say hi only because I don't have my chat open yet. I'll have to log into YouTube. Like the StreamYard app won't let me do it still. So
I tried to tell you that thing is no good. Also, the next time you leave the app or whatever, and if it asks you how did it go or whatever, tell them how it went. Not good. Okay, chat.
Yeah, but there's other good things. But yeah, next time you leave.
Tell them the truth. Tell them they need to fix that shit. Before we get started, I just want to do a tiny bit of housekeeping. Okay. So, I am going to do the West Memphis 3 Wednesdays in Patreon. We're going to go over more of what A Box Full of Nightmares, Terry Hobbs' book. I have a video that I want to play for you guys over there. So if you're into the West Memphis 3, please go check out the Patreon. Also, I am working on catching up with all the episodes because now the series finale has come and gone, and I was doing the reviews every week in Patreon for Gypsy, and then where you can get like stuff that I know from behind the scenes and stuff like that. And then I'm still working on the video or whatever for episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I have some other Gypsy related stuff that I don't know if I'm going to put it on the Patreon or if I'm going to put it on the other channel, but that's what's happening. And then Allie and I are going to continue tomorrow night on her channel with the lawsuit. And I think that's everything that I can think of. And thanks for the jade raid. Ooh.
Melissa, you're so sweet.
Let me say it right. Thanks for the jade raid. Okay.
Yes, tomorrow we have the lawsuit, and we've pretty much, there's a lot of pages left, but there's not a lot of substance. So we're going to look at the rest of it, and then I'm going to make like some graphics and stuff to sum up what Letecia's claims are and what the people say about those claims, each individual person. So I think that'll be interesting. Like to have it all spelled out in like a chart. You know what I mean?
Yes. I love a chart. You know that I love a visual display.
Well,
all right, y'all. Well, I don't know I don't know what we were talking about last time. And this is where we stopped. So this is where we're just going to pick up. So I have no idea what's happening. Well, I'll be surprised. Woohoo. Here we go.
Him was working on this case too.
It's
Yeah.
slowly but slowly he's about to start. He's rolling up his sleeves again, as the song said. You know what I mean? He's not gonna let his child go without. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
I've been
I'm
content
glad
with that.
So I'm glad that girl apologized. I hope that she actually sincerely means it.
Hello. Well, let me take these out my hand. Oh, all right.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
It's all right. They brought a bunch of new people in here.
How's your
Or
day
in other
going?
words, so they've been causing problems, and people already almost had a fight. They brought a bunch of new people. And or in other words, so they've been causing problems, and people. I think we're at 80 people in here.
They brought more people in?
Yeah.
So we're
at 80 people. No, but they just had to figure out rooms for one girl.
Probably just leave them out.
So what happened was yesterday, there's this one Deb, and she doesn't like our tier. We're the better tier, but we're the smarter tier. So we started together, and we started this inmate response team. So yeah, we did, and we just started saying, like, we're gonna write all these things and send them off for people. Like, some of these people kind of have literacy issues, and so the team has been writing it, you know. And then we teamed up with the dudes, and so there's a dudes leader and a girls leader, and so they go back and forth or whatever. Because they asked me, did I want to be the leader, and I was like, no, I do not want to be involved in anything. I will help all the writing stuff y'all need help with. So I said, I'll help with anything you need, but I don't want to be the one going back and forth talking to dudes, because I ain't gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we started the team, and it's just to report any discrepancies in female to male. But then they sent a sergeant in here yesterday, and we started telling him, and he was like, oh, you know, they don't get to go outside either. Yes, they did. We saw them go outside. We counted and watched them go outside. You can't lie to us. I mean, they literally walked outside. You know what I mean? Like, people walk by to go to the other ward in order to go to court, and saw them outside.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so he listened, but he just became a sergeant. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know how much he's going to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they were like telling him, and I said, excuse me, is it contraband to take my peanuts out of the package and put it on paper towel? He was like, no. I was like, I would like my peanuts back.
Yeah.
I said, it's this petty stuff that's going on, right? And I get it. There's always people that hurt certain people, right? So they did a search on the top tier yesterday. The deputy did, but she locked us downstairs, and we couldn't even finish using the phones or nothing. She went in, took an hour and 30 minutes to check all the cells. She was throwing away people's commissary if it was open, because she was saying it was out of its original packaging. Okay, so if you open up the pretzels and it rips open, you gotta wrap it with something to keep it fresh. You know, we don't want bugs. And so she was just throwing away stuff. She threw away people's cocoa. She was throwing away everything, man. It was stupid. Anyway, so then they found hooch. So, oh shit hit the fan then. Because it started this drama, because they pulled these people out one by one, and they're like, did you know about them making hooch? Did you know about making hooch? And they kept going. Most people were like, one girl, she was like, yeah, it's mine. I'll take my charge. But other people were like, oh, I didn't know she was doing it. Like, they knew what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But they're too pussy to go down with them. You know what I mean? So, anyway, so they started calling the girl snitch, because they brought her right out in the ward and had her telling what was going on.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so they started calling the girl snitch, because they brought her right out in the ward and had her telling what was going on.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So I told Taylor about the peanut thing, because he told me about that like last week or week before. So I was telling him about that, how they'll throw it away if it's not in the original package. And I told him what you told me about how you had it in a cup with a lid on, right? So he suggested something. I don't know if you've tried this, but he said, what if you leave it in the package it came in, but stick that package open inside the container with the lid on it?
I would have, but the problem is
still in its original
the
package,
containers are like this small.
Keep it fresh in the cup with the lid.
So all I did was I would have put some in there, so that I could be sitting down with like my dinner.
Oh, okay.
and put it with my dinner. You know what I mean? That I didn't want them just laying there. You know what I mean? Because I could have just had them on a paper towel and wrapped them up. But
Yeah.
I didn't want them just laying there.
Yeah.
I
Man,
could have just had them on a paper towel and wrapped them up. But
it sucks that like they don't give you bigger containers. Because I would be like a total smartass and just be like, open my container, my bag, you know, and stick it inside the cup, put the lid on, and be like, well, it's still its original container, but I'm keeping it fresh in here. Or you know, you could bring up the thing that you mentioned to me, the whole coffee thing. Like you got to take that out of its original container to drink it.
oh my God, they
They're not
tripping.
gonna throw coffee away.
This girl got a tampon and passed it because the deputy was dealing with that drama.
What's
So
going
she
on?
took a tampon and passed it to the girl, and so now they're regressing her for passing the tampon.
he was dealing with that drama. So she took a tampon and passed it to the girl, and so now they're regressing her for passing the tampon.
What's it? Are you serious? So like, if somebody runs out and somebody else is kind enough to give them something, then they get in trouble for
I'm
it.
telling you, it's the women deputies. It's the
Good
petty.
God, that place is so stupid. It makes me
And
so
we were
freaking
sitting there
mad.
telling them this yesterday.
I'm telling you, it's the women deputies. It's the petty.
So what are they like in that situation? What? Well, like in that situation, if somebody runs out, what
Well,
do they
they had to
expect them
just
to
now
do? Just
update
like,
the handbook
like
to
excuse how gross it is, like
couldn't
bleed out
get it
everywhere. Like I don't
on
know.
request because they had a bunch of fights
Well,
that
they
went down.
had to just now
And the
update the
reason a bunch
handbook
of fights that went down was because
couldn't get
the
it
deputies
upon
wouldn't give
request
tampons,
because
so
they
they
had
were
a bunch of
attacking
fights that went down.
the deputies. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that that was what I was going on. So they updated the handbook and it said that you could get toiletries at request. But then what they think is they give you 2 pens for 24 hours, two tampons, I'm sorry. And like these are the cheaper than Dollar Tree.
What they think is they give you 2 pens for
And
24
I'm
hours.
like,
2 tampons, I'm sorry. And like these are the cheaper than Dollar Tree.
No, I
Yeah,
mean, even
two
you're supposed to
are
change them
not
every
gonna
hour
last
or
many
2 at
people
the most,
24
you know?
hours. That's also like,
I mean, even you're supposed to change them every hour.
Yeah, at max.
yeah, I was getting ready to say, I think like on the box it says like at max, it's like, I think it's like 5 or 6 hours at max, not 12.
At max.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do they
They give out
offer,
pads, but
is it just tampons? Do they give out
most people
pads
in here,
too?
like these pads are like big, like hospital pads.
They give out pads,
So,
but
and they don't stick.
most people in here, like,
So,
these pads are like big, like hospital.
Look, one time I had one on.
Yeah.
And they don't.
I don't like them, but I had to have
Oh
one
God,
on
this is
so
the worst.
like didn't stick, so it fell.
One time I had
And
one
so
on.
like I was walking in transport, and they like pushed me in the wall, called a code, and was like freaked out that I had something in my clothes. I was like, sorry, it's cheap tampon. I mean cheap pads.
Pushed me in the wall, called a code, and was like, freaked out that I had something in my clothes. I was like, sorry, it's cheap tampon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sucks. That sucks so bad. Oh man, that sucks. So
It
like, if
depends.
you
Some
need
deputies
something
are very
and you
good about it.
request
They'll be like,
it,
on
how
my next
quickly do they give
check.
it to you, or does it
Because
take
you
them
can
all
get
day?
it when you come out, but see, the problem is when you lock down at 2 and you don't come out to 3 the next day, you run out of your supply. So you have no other choice but to ask them. And so when people start asking, most of them, majority of them will say, on my next check, or remind me, because they'll forget. But it's not like we have a way to get it unless they bring it to us. And so if they don't bring us to us, you're just sitting there with none. Sometimes I've sat there before 4 and 5 hours waiting on toilet paper.
Yeah.
So if they don't bring us to it, you're just sitting there with none. Sometimes I've sat there before 4 and 5 hours waiting on toilet paper.
That should be like toilet paper, tampons, pads, all that stuff. They should give you at least enough, like, to last like a week. You know what I mean? Not like 2 tampons a day. That's insanity.
Endometriosis.
Like, what if you have what is that? It's like endo something or other, but it's like where you have like really, really heavy periods. Yeah. And then you're screwed because you have to change it like every hour. Then you're just up
They
shit's
just
creek,
do
I
the
guess.
most that they don't even have to do, and it causes tension in the
That
words. Because now that
sucks.
girl, they done called her snitch and all this stuff, and so they had to take her out of here because people were about to beat her up, which kind of trips me out. This is where I do want to say something, but I don't, obviously. Well, I'm thinking y'all get mad at her about snitching, and y'all be the snitch to his.
Yeah,
Like,
Y'all get mad at her about snitching, and y'all be
yeah, some girl tried to say something to me, just came over from the other ward.
It's like it's
Because
hypocritical.
they had their TVs on.
And
She means over to say something. I went like this, but I don't entertain ignorance and hold on.
oh no.
It's like,
Okay, so why are they allowed to watch the news in other ward? What does she even try to?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are they allowed to
It's
watch the news in the
just-
other ward?
I guess because I'm a
You know
housing
what I mean? Like, why
ward.
can they watch it but
But
y'all
then
can't?
she got moved over here to this ward, and so she just started
I
taking.
guess 'cause
She
I'm a
was
housing
like taking her fingers,
But
giving her
then she
fingers
got
up at me. I
moved
just
over
went,
to
I
this
went.
ward. And so she
But one of my friends, she was like, "You already know she's not going to entertain fools." I was like, "You already know." I said, "She's sitting there just talking junk and she ain't gonna do nothing." I'm like, "I don't even ignore that ignorance. I don't even have time for that." I said, "I don't even do that at the time of day." I said, "That's where y'all got to learn. When people do that, after a while, you get to where they just get tired of doing it because they realize you're not giving them that attention and you're not going to entertain it. Then they'll just stop." I said, "That's what happened in the very beginning when I became housed in General Pop."
Yeah.
And then people got to actually know me and they were like, "Oh, okay. It's no different story than this chick." You know, people got to actually know me and they were like,
So she's
"Oh,
still there?
oh yeah. No, she's still here. You know, she
So she's still there?
yeah.
Or did she get moved elsewhere?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
No, she's still here. Yeah,
We'll watch, give it like a week or two, right? And then she'll kind of get to see who you actually are, and she'll probably come over and apologize.
Just like every other person.
Yeah, I finally got
Nothing you
around to
said
looking
came through.
at. I had to go on Twitter, but I finally went around and like saw everything from the other day, so I'm kind of caught up to speed a little bit. Oh, can you hear me now?
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Try again.
I went on Twitter yesterday and I caught up on everything.
Okay,
no,
try
nothing. Hold on. How about now?
Okay, try now.
Okay. No, I said I went on Twitter yesterday and I caught up on everything from the other day, so I was kind of up to speed on everything. And I was reading through and I'm just like, I could poke a hole here, I could poke a hole here, I could poke a hole here.
I told you more than Abercrombie jeans.
Yeah. It was interesting, but I'm just like, this is gonna be like, I mean, for pre-trial, I mean, it makes sense. I'm like, come time for trial, it's gonna be really interesting because, I mean, if somebody who's not a professional or even involved can poke a hole here and here and here and here, you know, I feel like this is.
And those holes that
like I said,
you're already
a lot more than a lot of people
you
know.
already
That's gonna
see.
come out.
Imagine how there's holes that like they don't even have information about. You know what I mean? You already see. Imagine how there's holes that like they don't even have information about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about too. And I was like, there's some things that I probably don't know about yet either that I'll learn more about as time goes on. That'll make even more holes.
Because I
but
think the judge allowed him. Well, he allowed the people to tweet.
Wow. Like.
Huh. I think the judge allowed him. Well, he allowed the people to tweet.
Yeah, because there was like 3 or 4 different news people there, I think, and they were all tweeting it like at the same time, but like different things, I guess. So I only read.
Were they local or national?
The local, the one that I read, I guess he's some local news reporter there. I don't remember his name. He works for one of the news agencies out there, but that's the guys that I read. But yeah.
How about what? You just went out again.
Have you heard anything about it on like the radio or
stay right there.
Anything like that?
How about what? Okay, try again. Just went out again.
That's so weird. Hold on. I don't know.
Stay right there.
Okay. Is that better?
Try again. No,
but have you heard anything like over your little radio, like on the news or anything about?
I don't know, about like 10 o'clock or whatever. And they were like, "Oh," he was like, "My mom said to tell you that." Well, she told another girl this who was on the other side, and she told me when we came out from meds, and she was like, "Yeah, my mom said to tell you that she wrote out this timeline of like all these things and how wrong it is, everything she was watching from the updates." And I was sitting there like, "Oh, tell her thank you, but I'm good, but thank you so much."
Thank you, but I'm
good. And so I was just laughing, and then and Jose went to it, and it was so funny. That's how the girl's mom went with her, went with Jose, and so I didn't even know she went. I was looking in the crowd to see a little bit. I could see people in there, but I didn't see anybody sitting over there. And she was like, "I totally went." She's like, "They didn't even like check like efficiently credentials. It was like if you had anything that said you're with that, with like a badge that you're with that, you get what I'm saying without saying it." With like a badge that you're with that.
I wish I would have known.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn, I wish I would have known. I would have went out there too.
Yeah, she didn't come back. She said she stayed until 2 something. Which said they did a break at 10:30 something. She said. Yeah, and she said she came back and she said she stayed to 2 something. But I was just like, I was sitting there like, and she was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get you." She said, "I'll get you updates to Big Homie." I was like, "Well, all right, we'll get Big Homie to call and tell me, the person he's supposed to tell me."
I was like, why? They call me and call and tell, the person you spoke to tell me.
Yeah. What does she think about everything? I mean, she probably knows,
basically
you
saying
know,
like,
about as much as I do with everything, you know what I mean? But what do you think about like the people who are there and
I'm not
stuff?
just saying this because you are, you are my friend or whatever. She said, I was just sitting there saying, like, it's obvious that you guys have the wrong person and there's someone else you need to be getting. You just don't know who it is, so you're going to come after this person. Yeah.
Someone else you need to be getting. Just don't know who it is, so you're going to come after this person.
Yeah. One of the things I saw, which I don't know if she mentioned it, it was something in reference to the back door being opened as often as it was opened. And I forget what the verbiage was, but I'm like, why is nobody thinking about the back door being opened as many times as it was open? You know what I mean? Like,
what in the world was the deal with the back door?
So that was one thing, and the thing I told you about on the phone the other night with all the DNA on it. It was just like,
what in the world was the deal with the back door?
They were talking about the back door being opened like X amount of times during a certain time frame.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like,
yeah.
I don't want to say too much because it's on the video chat, but I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can get what I'm getting at here. It kind of goes along with the whole DNA on that item. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I forbid you open your back door in your house. That is a crime.
Right? Yeah. I was thinking like, man, if anybody ever looks at my stuff, I'm opening my back door and my garage door and my front door like all the freaking time.
Don't take your dogs out to use the bathroom.
Like it's like gonna make me look like a bad person because I open doors.
And don't take your dogs out to use the bathroom. That's a crime too.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because there was a comment, like I said, it was about the back door being opened as many times as it was. I was like, I'm pretty sure there was a dog
this is how much of an idiot you are about the back door.
So just saying.
If it says back door, doesn't mean that the back door actually opens because there was no sensor on the back door. The sensor was over the top of the door, which means that you could literally walk by the back door, like where the table was at, and it would say back door because it's motioning. It wasn't hooked where it's like consistently back door, back door, back door, back door. It's the motion sensor. It's motion.
Yeah,
you can also mess with your motion sensors. You can put a sock over them, and they'll never know. You can do whatever. You can never know. And how I figured that out was when there was a fire before, and I'm sitting there fanning it like hell. When I was younger, fanning the alarm system we had, and what happened? Boom! It didn't even like nothing. It just stopped calculating.
Yeah. What happened? So it didn't even like nothing. It just stopped calculating.
Yeah. We had Vivint. Now we have ADT. So when we got ADT, they put extra, not the security camera.
And this is ADT, remind you.
Thingy. They put 2 by our top door, and then there's 1 on the wall in the corner, and then we have some on our back door.
This is ADT, remind you.
Oh, okay, you have ADT too? Okay, yeah, so then like if I don't shut my front door all the way, like, I mean, if it's touching, but it's not
if you don't close the back door all the way,
front door until I close it.
God forbid you leave the door open so the dogs can come in and out when they're finished. One might be finished and the other one might not be finished. Or you know what I'm saying? Back door, back door. So like people look into things like that and they're just like idiots.
Yep.
Like come on.
Back door. So like people look into things like that and they're just like idiots.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And I was trying to figure out because they never really actually said why that was even relevant, like what they were getting at with that, other than it was just brought up and stated like the back door is open this many times in this time frame. And I'm like, why is it relevant?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, why is it relevant? Because it's not like they even said anything else about it. It was just that, like, when I'm home, usually during the day, like we have a sensor on our garage door too. So I usually leave my garage door open during the day, mostly because, I take my kid to school and then I have to leave in the afternoon to go get her. So I just come home, park my car in the garage, come inside. But because I leave my garage door open, it's like every 30 minutes my phone is going off.
And that's the thing is
like, your garage door is open.
The
like every 30
sensors
minutes
are
it's going off.
Sometimes they're really, really sensitive.
And that's the thing is like,
just like on the Ring app, sometimes they're really, really sensitive and you can catch people 2 or 3 houses over going into their house.
Just like on the
and it rings on yours. It's the same way in the house sometimes. I mean, but then sometimes it don't.
Yeah.
Like the way emotions were at, you would not get sensors going in the master bedroom or G's room. There's no sensors. You could cut one way quick on the left on the stairs, and it would not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you cut one way left on the stairs, and quickly, it would never happen that way. You know?
Yeah, you cut one way left on the stairs, and quickly, it would never happen that way.
That makes sense though, because that makes sense because like our house, it's 2-story, so like we have a base level, living room, bathroom, dining room, kitchen. All of our sensors are downstairs.
That was where the staircase was at.
If you cut around
That's
the
just
corner
how
of
they
the
work. So
staircases,
like
it doesn't catch
pointing
motion
out like this is completely irrelevant to anything. It means absolutely nothing neither way.
Pointing out like
You know what I mean? It doesn't prove nothing for or against anything. People live in a home. It does sensors.
Yeah.
It's sensitive. There's animals. It's sensitive. There could have been 15 people open a door, or there could have been one person open a door, or it could have been none because it could have been the dogs.
There could have been 15 people open the door, or there could have been one person open the door, or it could have been none because it could have been the dogs.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is those sensors, they can be triggered by, I think it's like anything that's like 2 foot tall or higher. So I mean, even if
here's another thing that trips me out when people say shit like
if
that.
the right motion is
Okay, if we put our dogs in the crate,
here's another thing that trips me out.
most days it would not go off.
Okay.
However, if Sadie started freaking out, I would get motion on my phone that there was motion in the house.
However,
if she started freaking out in her crate, now she's a little old thing at the time, she was jumping, freaking out, it would go off in the house. If we left them out, some days it would never go off in the house. And then if we left them out and say Chance ran around and jumped on top of the sofas a couple times, then it would go off. That's why we had to always leave it to stay, but it would show their emotion. And sometimes it would.
Yep.
That's why we had to always leave it to stay, but it would show their emotion.
Yeah.
And sometimes it would.
Well, I mean, I don't know why he does this, but whenever Taylor is gone, he must have his ADT app pulled up like all freaking day long, because anything that goes off, it's so weird. Because anything that goes off, like the car goes by, front door opens, he's calling me, he's texting me, what are you doing? Or he called me the other day. He's like, there's a car in the driveway. And I was like, no, there's not, because I'm home. And I walked out front and there was nobody there. And he's like, oh, well, ADT told me. And I'm like, why are you watching I'm home. Like, that's weird. But there was one time, like, I think I was here. Yeah. And he kept getting some kind of, I don't know, because my phone wasn't going off and I have the ADT app. But he called me and he was freaking out because he kept getting notifications about something. And he's like, who do you have at the house? I was like, it's me and the kids. Oh, okay, well, I got this about a car, and now I'm at the front door, and I'm like, I took the trash out.
Hey, I'm telling you,
I went outside, like,
paranoid,
like, who
and
is
that's
at the
why
house?
I got
There
to
was nobody
some
freaking
time.
here.
I'd be like, okay, I'd avoid the sensor, or be like, man, this covered this thing up today. Like, why? Like, if you're gonna stalk me on the stupid sensors, who's there? Why are they there? Who's there? Someone's walking around in the living room, and someone's walking in the basement at the same exact time.
Why are they there?
And I'd be like, what does it matter? Especially when I was trying to pack up and stuff, and I was like, trying to keep it to myself about packing up or whatever. Until the kids saw that I was packing up stuff, and they were like, don't leave. But prior to that, I would try to not like make it obvious, like, hey, I need to pack this, or this is something I want to keep, or this is something I want to sell, or whatever. And he would be like, oh, what time did you get off work? Okay, I got off at whatever time, or I left early or something. Oh, why did you go by the house? What were you doing in the house when you went by the house?
Okay, I got up at whatever time.
I live here?
Or I left early or something. Oh, why did you go by the house? What were you doing in the house when you went by the house? I live here?
Yeah, Taylor does the same shit, and I don't get it, because when he's here and I'm not watching.
The only reason I ever got out of panic is
I just assume
it showed motion,
home,
and I know any of the kids were home.
I went out
and I'd be like, wait, why are y'all outside? That's different. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, oh, someone came to the door wanting to play, but I told them on the camera I couldn't play or something. That's different. But like, I never sit there. I did sit there and check the alarm now, just if I was out of town or trying to figure out, like Harley got home. I saw you got home at this time, matched her that she made it in the house type thing or something like that. But like, he made it seem like there was all these people in the house, like I was either pimping out somebody or I was being pimped out or something. And I'm even not the one to cheater. It's been proven in all the discovery he was a cheater.
Yeah.
And I'm even not the one to cheater. It's been proven in all the discovery he was the cheater.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Oh,
I
did
didn't
he?
know this until yesterday when I was doing my reading.
That's funny. Good for him.
He got remarried.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, apparently.
That's funny. Good for him.
I was like, holy, okay, like if that doesn't prove right there that like he was doing some fucky shit, excuse my language, like while you guys were still together, I don't know what will, because like,
Yes.
you know, after everything that happened,
But
Jen,
I was married so soon. Like obviously he had shit going
go ahead.
on.
please pause. Okay, thank you, because there's so much stuff here to talk about,
Yeah.
and I'm not taking notes. I'm going to forget it all. Did she just find out that he got remarried right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should clip that, because that'd be like for people that won't sit through these whole videos. That's the moment Letecia found out Al was remarried.
Yep.
You should rewind it like 20 seconds. Will I be annoying if you do that? I
No,
wasn't
babe.
watching her face.
No, babe.
Okay, thank
of course not. I just listen. We've had this talk before. You know how I've been getting oversensitive sometimes, so I've been trying to just be quiet, and because there's like 11 billion times I've wanted to interrupt this shit.
Yes, I know. There's so many things, but yeah, we can. Let's rewind it for a second, then we can talk for a second about all the things, and then we'll go on if you want, because there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to unpack,
Awesome.
and this is one of the longer ones.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
And all the discovery he was the cheater.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I didn't know this until yesterday when I was doing my reading.
That's funny. Good for him.
He got remarried.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, apparently.
That's funny. Good for him.
I was like, holy, okay, like if that doesn't prove right there that like he was doing some fucky shit, excuse my language, like while you guys were still together, I don't know what will, because like,
Yes.
you know, after everything that happened,
But
why would he get married so soon? Like obviously he had shit going on.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Jen, she was shocked. She was
shocked. Did he? Her voice went up.
Yes, he did, Tisha.
Yes, he did. Several octaves. And how about all that talk about the doors? Can we all please just take a moment to remember why the big deal about the alarm system to begin with? Letecia, for a few months before all of this happened, had been telling Al that the house was getting broken into. But she seemingly has forgotten about that. And now Al is checking on the motion detectors when they go off and when he gets alerts on his phone, and he's a stalker and he's obsessed. Can we also talk about how she told Amy that all that motion was her packing up to leave, yet no evidence of her packing anything was ever found.
Yeah.
None.
And the kids begged you not to leave? Bull, Tisha.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so.
believe that.
Because one of the last things that Lena said about Letecia when she was visiting her mom was not a good thing. It was about Letecia smothering her.
Yeah.
Pushing her face in the carpet.
Yeah. And then remember Gannon, like at his doctor, you know, all that happened there.
Yep.
So, oh my gosh. Okay. Then also, what about when she's talking about them making hooch? And she's like, yeah. And then these weak ass girls snitching. And I'm like, Tisha, I'm thinking, girl, we have seen the jail records. We know that you are the snitch. You are the one who snitches on everybody. But trying to be just so cool, like
you don't snitch.
God.
Like this is Leticia's MO. It's everybody else. It's not her. It's not her.
Oh.
So ridiculous.
Wow.
Absolutely ridiculous. You know,
this was a good one.
This was a good one. I have to say, though, that whole situation with the sensors and the sock, that was oddly specific, Letecia.
Yep.
It does kind of make you wonder. Yeah, it does make you kind of wonder. But at this point, she, now, you know, Tellini is representing her, but it's not like she's forgotten. I have a feeling that I know there is a way to see what she looked at in her discovery, particularly if it was on a USB drive. You can always see who, well, not who, but what computer accessed it for how long, when, how many times, all those things, right? You can see all that. But they're never gonna like release that. But what I'm curious about is what from her discovery did she look at the most?
Oh yeah, that would be very interesting to see. Wasn't there like at some point like she was given like so many papers at a time in her cell? I remember something in the jail records about that. Like she had some of it on paper.
Yes, some of it she had the hard copy of her discovery, but a lot of it was on USB drives. And thank you. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Thank you, Shraddha Nietzsche for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate that. Welcome to the ward. I hope I didn't say your name too awful.
What a pretty name.
It is a pretty name.
Nietzsche.
It's a very pretty name.
Yeah, so oh gosh. Oh my God, there's just so much with this call. I don't know. Let me just say this too. I forgot.
Okay.
So look, I saw a comment, about the echo. I know some of you guys, maybe this is your first video that you've came in to see her video visits. We have calls coming out in a day or two. Those won't have the echo. Amy was recording the video visits, and that among there probably other variables that created horrible audio. There is nothing that can be done. So it's either we watch them or we don't. And we want to watch them. So, in a couple of days on both channels, we'll have calls with no echo, but the video visits, we got to deal with it. But it's interesting. This is where if we didn't have this, we'd be missing stuff. Hello,
Yep.
She just learned Al got remarried, and that is huge. Like, I was glad we got to see that. So
me too, because we did get, up until at this point, we have 2020's calls and a little bit of 2021. We don't have all of the 2021 calls. And so when we go back, so when we're listening to this stuff, and it does now make more sense because there are video visits in between calls. So I do remember calls with Amy before we got all of the video visits, where it seemed like they were picking up on a previous conversation. And it didn't make sense to me that it would be from a letter, because they both talk about how long it takes between the sending of the letter to the receiving of the letter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And there's definitely been times where we've known that we've been missing stuff, and we know now there's other video visits, which we need to get on that and find out about them. But I wanted you to see her comment, and then Lil Red, she mentioned something that I noticed too. She said Al was cheating in the discovery. We never saw that at trial, but I guess there could be things obviously things they don't present or whatever. So I'm curious about that, and then also the fact that she had access to the photos of what happened to Gannon literally makes me so angry. I feel like I can jump out of my body. Like it makes the insides of me just like rage. And I don't know. It just.
You know what though? Knowing that is extra messed up, because that's the only time Letecia's head was up in the beginning of the trial. Because so when she was off to the side before she started, before she was slipping people off and acting a fool, right? Her head was down, and then they moved her. And when they moved her, there were a lot of moments even after they moved her that, she kept her head down. And then all of a sudden, whenever they were going over what happened again and her head was up, she was alert, and it was awful. It's just one of those things where you're just like, what the you know, I don't even have words, but I never, you know, to know that that's why I would be so curious to be able to see what exactly from her fought case or from her discovery that she accessed. Obviously, we can't know with like the hard copies, but with the USB, I would venture to guess. And as far as like Al potentially being a cheater and it being in the discovery, okay. They're not going to bring, first of all, the defense has no reason. The only people that would win in that scenario or not win, that's not the right word, have a reason to bring that up, it would be the state, because that gives motive. And I think had Letecia not pled not guilty by reason of insanity, they probably would have brought it up if it were true. Yeah. If it existed in the discovery, it would have been the state that brought it up.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's definitely motive. I don't give a crap if he cheated or not. Who cares, Tisha? You're horrible. Like,
right. Exactly. Exactly. But I don't want to put that on him. Like, because just because Letecia says it doesn't make it so, because we all know that she has a very complicated relationship with the truth. She's a lying liar face who tells lies. So like, I don't want to put that on him because I don't know. It doesn't feel right. But even if he did, Allie's right. Even if it were true, who cares? That's not a reason to kill a child, period. I don't care. You know, that's ridiculous. So the fact that, you know, she's even bringing it up. And Patricia says, how do you think Amy felt telling Letecia about Al getting married? I actually think that I think Amy enjoys giving Letecia news from the outside world.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it is enjoys in like I want to deliver news to you that will actually, because that would kind of sting, you know, to find out that your husband had remarried. We all know that she was butt crazy in love with Al or whatever, you know, or fixated, obsessed. I don't know if love is the right word, but she thought she loved him. I can't say if that's what it was with Amy, but Amy does like being Letecia's confidant. And it's weird to me.
She does.
You know?
She does. I wonder if she almost is, you know how some of those people get joy out of like hurting people or giving them that kind of news? Like she almost seems like I don't know, like
she does take maybe a little sick pleasure in it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is interesting to me because Amy's whole shtick was that the reason she wrote to Letecia in the first place was because she wanted to get inside of her head. But when you listen to the questions that Amy asks Letecia, we paused right there, so we don't know. There might be some further follow-up about this whole marriage thing, but there's been other situations where, you know, Amy has asked what would be seemingly a probing question, but then there's no follow-up, you know, and she also feeds into the delusion. So it's very, their dynamic is very weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But Amy, again, if you'd like to explain, the offer is on the table. My email's in my about section. Just email me. We'll figure something out. I promise you I'll be polite.
Do you think that Tisha went back to her cell and cried?
I think she probably. We should look it up in the jail file. See what she was doing on this September day.
I will look it up when we pause. What's the exact date?
Oh shoot! I'll give it to you in the back chat. I have to look it up. So I'll play for everybody else.
Okay.
And then I'll go find the call.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Be right back. Here we go.
Yes.
And apparently it wasn't even like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes.
From what I heard, he was
No.
like dating this chick
She
named
realized he was
Heather
a
for a
narcissist.
while. So I thought that's who he got married to. Apparently that's not who he got married to.
She realized he was a narcissist.
But
Yeah,
she
I guess
what?
he jumped ship and he found somebody else who got married to her. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
So she what?
I guess that that Heather chick, she jumped ship and then he just got with somebody else like real quick. I can't
It's
figure out what
just
her
it's
name
just
is.
a thing for
I
him,
guess
so he
Melissa
can
is
have
her first
people.
name. I don't know.
He don't like
I
to
don't know
do
if you know
things
anybody named
himself, like
Melissa.
clean and take care of kids. So
It's just a thing for him. So
that's his. He has to always have a replacement because he can't do it. You see what I'm saying?
Take care of kids. So
I read that.
that's his. He has to always have a replacement because he can't do it. You see what I'm saying?
I read that and I was just like, I don't even know
Listen,
him and he pisses me off
You
so
got married
bad.
to me a week after you had your divorce papers
I'm just-
on your first marriage.
Oh,
You
go
got
ahead.
married to me a week after you had your divorce papers on your first marriage.
January the 9th was the
I
divorce
didn't
papers.
know that it was
January
that
17th
soon.
is
I
our
didn't know you
marriage.
guys got married that soon.
Our wedding was supposed to be January 9th, but he didn't get the paperwork on time.
Oh wow. Yeah, he didn't hold
Our
off
wedding
at
was
all.
supposed to be January 9th, but he didn't get the paperwork on time.
Because he can't do
Oh, wow.
things by himself.
So
Like
does he just jump from like one
he
relationship to
cannot
another?
like grocery, clean, dirty, like take care of kids. He can't do all that by himself. He doesn't know how to be a parent by himself.
Grocery, clean,
He claims that he can do all those things, but he cannot. It's been proven in 2 marriages he cannot.
So what is he?
Claims that he can do all those things, but he cannot. It's been proven in 2 marriages he cannot.
I was getting ready to
He
say,
would get
if you just
mad
look
at
at his like
Landon.
marriage history,
If
it's
she
very
got off of
obvious that
school
he
and
cannot.
didn't go straight to get the kids from the daycare,
He would get mad
if God
at
forbid if she
Landon.
decided to pick them up at
If
5
she got off of school
and not
and
3:30,
didn't
oh
go
my God,
straight
she
to
was
get the
so
kids from the
horrible.
daycare.
She should have been in that daycare because she's supposed to be a mother.
And not 3:30.
But
Oh my God,
he'd
she
show up.
was
He'd
so
show up at
horrible.
5 minutes to
She should
6.
have been in that daycare because she's supposed to be a mother.
Where's he at as a dad?
But
Where's he?
he'd show up at 5 minutes to 6.
Yeah, I was saying,
His
but where's
job
he at
means
as a
more
dad?
because
It's
it's the
equally
Army.
his
It
responsibility to be
means
a
more.
parent. It's like
It's
a
more
50-50
prestigious than
thing.
anybody teaching.
His job
That's why
means more
Landon got backed out of
because it's the
teaching
Army.
because he mentally and emotionally abused her so much over being a teacher.
That's
Because
why
she was a PE
Landon
teacher.
got backed out of teaching because
And he told everybody, I helped her pass all of her tests. I helped her write all of her papers. But he couldn't do that shit with
Does
me.
he realize?
Because I wrote his
I
papers.
helped her pass all of her tests. I helped her write all of her papers. But he couldn't do that shit with me. I wrote his papers.
Does he realize that like the Army will not
Yeah.
last forever? Like at some point he's going to have to retire, and like at least family is forever. You know what I mean? Like
No,
you
but
can
that's
always have
the
a wife,
thing.
you
Is
can always
like,
have kids. Like the
he'll
Army's
end
not
up still
always
being a
going to be
narcissist. But as long
there.
as someone is taking care of kids for him
No, but that's the
and
thing,
doing all the
like,
work for him,
he'll end up
I mean,
still
he
being
won't
a
even pick
narcissist,
up a
but
thing
as
to
long
wipe
as
the
someone is
toilet.
taking care of kids for him,
You know what I'm saying?
and
Like,
doing all the
so
work for him,
he's that lazy when
he
it
won't
comes to
even
that
pick
kind
up
of
a thing
stuff.
to wipe his-
You know
wipe
what I
his
mean?
toilet.
And so, like,
Oh,
he
God.
needs someone to constantly do those type of
He's that
things
lazy when
because,
it comes to
oh
that
my
kind
God,
of
he
stuff.
can't even do homework with
You know what I
kids
mean?
because
And so,
he's
like,
his poor parent.
someone to constantly
He
do those
never
type of
sat
things.
down and did any
Because,
homework with
oh
any
my
of the
God, he
kids.
can't even do homework with
You
kids.
should be the one doing it. You're the
His poor
teacher.
parent. He never sat down and did any homework with any of the kids. You should be the one.
And I tried to explain that, like, I'm with kids all day.
Well, gee,
Sometimes I
you
have to
do it
come
all
down,
day for a
come back, and
living.
just
I'm
like
sure you
be
would like some
sometimes
help.
and just take a break for a moment.
And I tried to explain that.
Oh
like,
no,
I'm
you
with kids
can't.
all
He told,
day,
and
so
you know what? He would
sometimes
always
I
tell
have to
Landon the
come
same
back
thing,
and
and that's why he would tell Landon, "You're just a PE teacher. What are you doing? Play games with them all
Oh,
day?"
no, you can't. And you know, he would always tell Landon the same thing. And that's why he would tell Landon, "You're just a PE teacher. What are you doing? Play games
Yeah.
with them
So
all day?"
good luck. Woo.
Oh my God.
Cheers.
He-
Cheers to the
He's a
weekend.
real piece of work.
Yeah. So
No.
good luck.
No.
Cheers.
Well, I think you and I both know that that's not gonna last.
And not to mention, he's sitting there
She'll
lying
probably
and all
figure it out
this.
sooner or later and
Do,
abandon ship also.
Don't forget that.
And not to mention, he's sitting there lying and all this.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Well, his time's coming up. It's coming up, and it's gonna be hilarious when all these people that are like online
He's
that
really
are
an
like, "Oh,
asshole
he's such a great
with
guy
the
because he's an
capital
Army," and all
ASS.
other stupid BS. Like,
He's really an asshole.
yeah,
Capital ASS.
yeah. I mean, like I knew that,
But I'm
but I
getting
definitely
married.
saw it when he went on the news and was asking for people to donate to his GoFundMe for lawyer fees. I was just like,
But I'm getting married.
yes,
Yes.
thank you. Somebody pointed that out online. They were like,
Exactly.
wait, wasn't he just on GoFundMe asking for money for
Exactly.
lawyers fees? And yeah, he has the money
I
to get
just showed
married. I'm
you
like, thank
someone's
you.
character. You know what I mean? I mean, he was
Oh,
already
man.
living with that girl Heather
He
from the
didn't
first
That
week.
just shows you someone's character.
That tells you someone's character. Tells you he's hiding shit.
Living with that girl Heather within the first week.
Yeah, I
That
know.
shows you someone's character.
Wow. Let me just point out that, Letecia, you do care. See, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. It's when you feel nothing. And because hate is an emotion, you still feel something. So the fact that she's, got her ass on her shoulders, she's butthurt. And she doesn't want to admit it. So rather than address her issues, which obviously, listen, I'm not under any delusion here about Letecia, and Letecia's going to come clean and Letecia's going to address her issues. Okay. First of all, even if she were the type of person that would take accountability, she's in jail. So she's not going to talk about the crime or give the DA any help prosecuting her. Okay. And I that's regular behavior. I don't really want to use the word normal, but whatever. But on top of that, you have, but she's not going to do that anyways, but instead of just saying, well, good for him, it didn't work out between he and I, whatever, good luck to her, and leaving it at that. No, she's got to dog him out and judge him and then say all the horrible things that he did to Landon, which is interesting to me because, Letecia, you were around when they were married and you helped get permanent custody of the kids. So if he's this horrible, horrible person, and I'm not going to repeat what you called him, but you all heard it. You guys were there, then why did you help him? Eddie, I don't think so, Lee the Bee. I don't think there is any chance of her getting an appeal. I mean, what could she base her appeal on? If she were to go and argue about Dr. Lewis, let's give that example. Let's say she uses Dr. Lewis, because there were times during that trial when Dr. Lewis was less than professional. So let's say it's something related to Dr. Lewis. The fact is that the judge, if anything, when he made some of his rulings regarding her testimony, erred on Letecia's side in her favor. So if anybody should be upset about some of those rulings, it should be the state. But I can't imagine that she has any chance at appeal. She can always, I don't know either. I'm not an attorney, but usually what they do when the appeals process starts, they'll go through the transcript and they look for trial errors. But the trial error has to be such that if it had not occurred, that the jury would maybe have found her not guilty. It has to be an egregious trial error. So they'll start there. And then they'll work their way through other, one of the other ones to appeal on is ineffective assistance of counsel. What were you going to say, Allie? Go ahead, babe.
Remember, we saw that she was talking to that attorney in these court filings. I will say, because I went ahead and looked through just to see what we had to look forward to, and it's mainly a bunch of nothing. There's a couple things, and then I want to, like I said, do the graphics. But at the end, there is an attorney. She has just put an attorney on her jail file as her attorney of record. That Samler guy out of Colorado.
Yep. And we looked at him, and he is a criminal defense attorney who specializes. He's an appellate attorney who can argue in front of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yeah. And he's officially her lawyer. Like, I saw the little paper where he has to sign or whatever at the end in the files in there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, what does that mean, Jen? Like, what do you think he could even do for her? Get her moved, maybe? I don't know.
I can't, maybe argue that while Dr. Lewis's presentation of the evidence and her testimony was less than professional, and they might argue because, due to age and whatnot, right, that the conclusions that she reached are valid, and that Letecia truly is not guilty by reason of insanity, and therefore she should be in a state-funded mental institution for criminals versus actual prison. I can't figure it out. I mean, I really cannot figure out what possible avenue she has, and I've thought about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know she's not happy there in Kansas, and she's trying to in that lawsuit, she's claiming they're basically holding her illegally, and she's suing the interstate compact, whatever you call it.
Yes.
So maybe they could get her moved back to Colorado or something, or in a hospital, like you said, that would make sense. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Lil Red is right. He has to she's missed the filing date. She doesn't have to.
Right.
First, so you only have a certain amount of time, and the judge sets it at the end of the trial. And that is for you to give the court notice of appeal. Because Tellini and, why can't I never remember his name? They're not appellate attorneys. So they wouldn't be the one handling, I mean, they can, but they don't, right? So they wouldn't be the ones handling her appeals. It would be the public defender's office, and they have lawyers that are devoted just to the appeals process. So they would have to hand all of that over, but you have to give notice to the court. And then once Will Cook, thank you, Teacup Kraken. And then once you give the notice, then you actually have to do something. Then there becomes other deadlines as it goes through. And so she didn't do any of that. And so the only thing that I can think of that, like to Little Red's point here, is that maybe he is going to find something, or try to find something that justifies, like her missing her date. Like maybe she was after being sentenced like that, she was kept under watch for self-harm, because that does happen after a sentence like that. And then you have to go through the diagnostic process, which is where they figure out which prison you're going to go to. And then, where you are best suited to be in that prison, and all of those things, the classification process. And in the interim, sometimes it is true that mail, including legal mail, does get lost in the shuffle. And that's the only thing that I can think that he is trying to find, that maybe is a reasonable justification why she could not, why she didn't have access to filing an appeal. But it's going to be very difficult, given the fact that she was able to file a whole ass lawsuit.
Yeah.
And keep up with the lawsuit she already had going. It's going to be tricky.
Interesting.
So,
well, I think that we should look at any cases he's done in the past and see like how decent he is, especially see if we can find any YouTube videos of this attorney, or let's try to see what we can find. Oh, also I wanted to tell you, so I will get that off the jail file, or you can, because I went to pull it up and I started panicking because I couldn't find it in my files. I have 100 Stauch files. Well, remember, I finally got it uploaded into a Google Drive, and I sent the link to you and to Kit. And so when I go to pull it up, it's trying to re-download it right now or pull it up on Google Docs. It's just having trouble like pulling it back up. It
Okay.
was, so I just shut my laptop and put it up, and I'll grab it by tomorrow. We'll see
Okay.
exactly what was going on at that time. But or
Okay.
and you can look too if you still have the link, or I can send it again. So yeah, but I had to find a way where I could share it with you guys.
I do want to look
then
for
get
it,
it
but
off
I
my
don't.
computer.
Sorry, I do want to look for it, but I don't want to look for it tonight because we still have. Hold on, let me look at this. Like about 30 more minutes of call left, and I pinky promised Mikey, and I'm not going to break that.
Yeah.
That I would have you off at 11 sharp, and that is in 20 minutes, a little less than 20 minutes, more than 20 minutes, 24 minutes to be exact. So.
Well, yeah, we can look at another time, but just you have the link, so you can do it.
Yeah, I will
And
look. I will
let's
look.
do
We'll
it.
bring it up.
Okay.
I promise. We'll revisit this whole situation because I am kind of
Okay.
curious how she behaved after the fact. Oh, and Little Red, this is a good point. I also wonder if she was going to appeal the court's decision on the lawsuit that was thrown out in Colorado. Now, I wondered about that too, but he is a criminal defense attorney. And what she's doing in Colorado with that lawsuit is civil. But I mean, that it's possible. It's possible. I don't know. All right, let's see what call we have next. Is I'm not breaking my promise. I'm not trying to get in trouble.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Because let me tell y'all why really quick, because then we'll get to it. Allie was at the store today and she found the cutest little plush. It's and its name is Bindi. And he said he would get it, he would buy it for me and send it to me. And I just thought that was so sweet that I definitely do not want to break a pinky promise after all that.
It's adorable. And
It
Emmy
is
knows
really
the cartoon
adorable.
it came off of. It's apparently off some kind of cartoon. Emmy knows it. I'll find out and tell you. I was going to look it
Okay.
up and try to figure out like what I could find out about it, but it's really cute.
It is super cute, you guys. I can't wait for y'all to see it. Okay. And the second Allie saw it, she thought of me, obviously, because Bindi, and she sent it
Yes.
right to me, and it just warmed the recesses of my cold black heart. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Whoa, Leticia's looking particularly Charles Manson-like today. Look at them eyes, y'all.
Yes. Teacup.
Woo!
Yes, you're right. Bindi and the Ink Machine. That's what it's called. That's what Emmy told me.
Oh, Bindi and the Ink Machine. I'm going to look it up. All right, here we go.
Okay.
But we're not stupid. We know you put it in the vents. We know you made it be this way. You know what I mean? Because it's just a head cold. It's just sinuses. You know, no one.
Yeah.
You know, we've been just all on our top group. You know, just up there, just fighting it, like the battles and the demons. You know, trying to fight them all off because we're like, we have to stay together because they're gonna mount up against us. You know. So.
Yeah, and part of me wonders, like, a lot of people say like coronavirus, all the symptoms, of coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
You could like have a cold, you can Google like runny nose, first thing that pops up is coronavirus, like.
Because they're making any time or like a fever, they're like corona and like no, the fevers have been around for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you remember. Do you remember the big Ebola scare, and like the swine flu thing?
Yeah.
Like it was a huge pandemic, and then it just up and vanished. Like nobody's heard of it again.
Yeah, I saved this to show you. So this is. Let's see if I can get it there. There's the cereal. Matted with butter. I saved it to show you. So that's how the whole thing comes. The butter was all melted over the cereal. That's kosher. Which is not kosher.
What kind of cereal is that?
It's just regular cornflakes. But they're not doing the kosher right. So they're putting the butter in with the kosher and it's all smashed up. And I had the bread saved to show you, but I guess it went so bad that my Philly had threw it away. But the bread was the juice on the fruit was melted all on the bread that it was soggy, and it was in one bag with the juice with the fruit.
Ew, who wants to eat soggy bread? That's disgusting.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you on the camera, so even though I ain't just making this up.
Oh, no, I believe you. Trust me, I believe you. But I can't believe, like, that's disgusting. It's like cornflakes, like, slathered in butter. Like, who's going to eat that?
Yeah. Anyway.
What's new in your world today? Any cool events going on?
No, well, I just came back from meeting with Selene. I was in there for like an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, it was good. We were just talking about stuff that we're just like thinking is full of shit type stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had a few questions about stuff himself, and then once I explained it, it makes sense. And so,
Yeah. I was talking to Taylor about it a couple days ago, like just some of the stuff that I read on Twitter, whatever. And he was like, well, he didn't look at it, but I was like reading him all like the posts on Twitter and stuff. He's like, somebody like me, him saying that, somebody like me who doesn't really know the whole story, like that could be viewed as like maybe like self defense type thing. You know what I'm getting at? Like, yeah.
There's so much stuff that's wrong. I just sit back and be like, so this girl came up to you a minute ago when I got back, and she was like, hey, come here. And I was like, oh, God, here we go. I just looked at her, didn't I? And I said, all the rumors are true. Yeah, haters do what they do. Yeah. Her face turned red, and she was just like, you know what I was going to say? I said, actually, no, but I know it's going to be something so crazy that I probably need to sit down for this story. And she was like, okay. She was like, so I went to court today. And she's like, and someone had mentioned your name in the band, and she said, but then this other girl had told this other girl to shut up on the band. And I was like, well, who is it? And then she told me the girl's name, and I was like, what? She's here? I said, oh, okay, I know why she's here. And then she was like, yeah, but she's in the other ward right now. I was like, oh, okay. Remember the girl that you text for me?
Yeah.
She's, in the other ward. So she was like telling me the story, and she was like, yeah, this girl was telling this girl who just got back off the van, that apparently people were chopped up in 423 pieces. And I mean, like, this story went on, and I'm just sitting there looking at her just like, I said, listen. She's like, well, I kind of look. She said, I told her that we went outside yesterday, and I told her, I was like, well, she could play the hell out of basketball, and she's pretty fast. She was like, but I don't think she's like that capable of doing something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I like her a lot. And she's like, and they went all talking about the conversation and everything. And she was like, yeah. She was like, and then there was parts missing, and there was parts in this state and this state, and she keeps going on with this story that people were told to her on the van. And I just kept listening to the story. I'm like, okay, it's going to get better. Like, this is going to be the movie. Like, this is going to turn into her movie story or whatever she's got going on over here. By the time she finished the story, I was sitting there like, wow. Like, whoever started this or whoever told who added on to it have not even, like, looked at anything that's, like, legit. Like, this doesn't even make any sense to me. Like, what is wrong with y'all? And she said, well, I told him I was still going to play basketball with you, and I was still going to go to your Bible study, and I was still going to do this. She's like, but I just wanted to let you know. I was like, girl, I said, if I sweated things that people said to me, or even if I worried about the dumb shit that they be trying to say about me, I said, I would be dead from a stroke, from stress, from a heart attack. I said, once I gave it to God, and I knew my soul as well, and I knew what I had did and what I hadn't done, I said, I don't worry about that anymore. I said, you don't see me sweating one bit in here. I said, because I already know what God's going to do. And she was like, okay. She's like, I just don't want you to be mad at me because I still want to play basketball with you. I was like, no, that's cool.
So what? It was somebody that was starting rumors about like what they said you did or something like that?
Yeah, on the van to court today. There's apparently a bunch of girls in the van to court today. So
it's like, why can't they find anything else to talk about aside from you and making up all these stupid stories?
Because here's the thing. Right now, it's me. In 2 weeks, it'll be Amy, because Amy's got her preliminary in October. So I'll go from having to defend myself to defending Amy. You know what I mean? And then after that, my other friends got her trial started in October, so then we'll go into defending then. But mostly it's me because I'm public enemy number one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they got that one lady in here, Carla, the daycare lady. And so, you know, they used to try to talk shit to her and stuff like that. And then we like shut them down on that, you know. But they kind of left her alone a little bit because she's older lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you come in somewhere and you got like women who are dealing with self-esteem issues, and I'm talking about like people that have never even left out of Colorado. You know, people that have lived in very drug society and, you know, stuff like that. They have bad self-esteem, so all they can do is think they can bully and attack other people so they can get a reaction out of it, so they get more attention and they get that attention they never got from people. That's just what these people do. And I don't give it to them. I used to, but I don't. And now that I don't, they'll say it every now and then, here and there. But once they realize I don't entertain their ignorance, then they'll leave it alone.
I'm wondering if like people come up with these rumors because like, you know, they come in, they see you, they know who you are. Maybe they're like scared of you just because of, you know, what the media portrays. So they try to act all hard or whatever, and then they get to know who you really are, and they're like, oh, she's not half bad at all.
Yeah, and then the one girl was saying something about, yeah, before the person was, let me see how I can say it. She was like, yeah, do you know how bad she was? That they were putting their hands up trying to defend themselves as she was chopping off body parts and like all this. And I'm sitting there like, no one was cut anywhere. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Just because y'all want to listen to these idiots say that, that is not true. Like, I don't care who's listening to me. I don't care what who's listening to me. No one was cut at all anywhere. I don't know where you guys have come up with this at. You're talking about these people that make statements that are not medical professionals. I can guarantee you right now there was burn marks from a fire that was set by him. I don't know where in the hell you come up with this other stupid shit from. I'm like, but it's okay though.
Yeah.
You don't have to
because I had read something. I read something on Twitter about, you know, all that stuff as I like label it like trigger warning or whatever you want to call it.
Do what?
They
Trigger?
Detail about, huh?
Trigger?
They were like on the Twitter post for like the preliminary hearing. It was like trigger warning for what you're about to read. So and
I see what you're saying, like warning. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. For some people that might be like a little sensitive or whatever, you know. But there was something about I mean, have you been able to see anything about the pretrial?
No, I didn't. I mean, I figured if it was something that was, you know, obviously there was media there, so therefore it was public. But I didn't. Like, I didn't even ask him any of that questions today because, to me, that bullshit that they be saying, I mean, sure, I want to know it in the terms of, like, oh, my God, you're a freaking idiot. But, like, at the end of the day, I sit there and I be like, do you not realize this? Do you not realize this? Do you not realize this, and this, and this? And at the end of the day, none of that adds up what you're saying over here. You know, so as long as they continue to go on this trail of being wrong, when you get the right, that's going to even make it way better on myself, you know, so.
Yeah. And I think, hold on, let me think of how I should word this here, because you know the whole recording thing. I think you told me before, don't you have you had a video on your other iCloud account, right?
Mm-hmm.
About somebody, a minor, if you know who I'm getting at, that was messed up on some substances.
Well, no, it's just another minor. It's just another minor being present. It's Ty. It's Ty's on the video. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the other one that you were talking about was from prior. And the kid on Wando. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Because maybe I got confused. Because I thought when we had talked about that, it was something about I guess G was like he had a knife or something? And
Oh
was, like,
yeah, that was
threatening?
from a year ago, like the year before, whatever. Yeah, I had that. Yeah.
Does Caitlin and stuff have that? Or
Yeah, and there's reports of that. Like there's even psychiatric reports for that.
oh really?
Mhm.
See, I thought about that too, and I'm like, I mean, for the things that they're saying, like in the preliminary trial, or yeah, preliminary trial. Sorry, I'm like really tired today. I don't know why. So like the stuff on Twitter, they're talking about like X, Y, and Z, and they're like,
There's too much to unpack. I'm sorry, you guys. I have to pause it. I know there's not that much left, but she just said quite a bit there, and I think we should talk about it. What do you think, Allie?
She's obviously her messed up. She is messed up.
No, she's
her head is
tired today, and
completely
she
rough.
doesn't know why. What are you talking about, Allie? She's just tired today.
Yeah, she's just so tired. I know. No,
And I don't know why. That is the oldest excuse in the book. No, I'm just tired. Okay. I get tired plenty, but not like that. Okay. So one of the things that Amy started out saying that really just went all over me is that she was explaining to her husband the what was said on Twitter regarding the preliminary hearing. It's not a preliminary trial. It's Amy, come on. Anyway, and that when she was reading it to her husband said some of that stuff could be construed as self-defense. What were you reading him, Amy? Did you were you looking at the same preliminary hearing the rest of us were looking at?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay. And then we have her asking questions. And as much as this pains me to say, Amy's actually, I think, accidentally asking the right questions about these videos. Because it's never really clear between the video visits and the phone calls whenever Letecia references this video that she has that's going to show it all and vindicate her, and we're all going to say sorry. What exactly is in those videos? The video. The other video that she's talking about, I remember in the case file, when we got the case files, there being a reference to this knife incident, and that mainly what it was that I remember was there were records from the therapist that Gannon was seeing, and I don't recall there being a video mentioned. Do you, Allie? Because that's what Letecia's saying. She's saying that there's a video of Gannon, that whole knife situation, which I don't actually believe happened either.
No, I don't believe that happened either, unless she's trying to claim like she secretly recorded it on the phone in the shoe or whatever the hell,
Right,
kind of thing.
right. And it's on record. It's psychiatric records of it. Okay. Oh my God. Y'all, I'm telling we need to stop relying on AI, because this is the kind of things that they do. According to the AI chat summary, Amy is a lawyer. Bruh. Oh Lord. Okay, let's finish listening to it. I just wanted to stop and take a break just for a second. We're almost through it. Okay, here we go.
It's defensive wounds, and I'm like, the things that I know, like from what you've told me about him and stuff like that, like, who's to say that maybe they weren't self-inflicted? You know,
And you got to think about this. You're getting that information from a detective. You're not getting it from a doctor. You're not getting it from a doctor that told you this, and this, that can't answer questions. Here's what, and you also have to remember, when You live in a place, you think your people are the best. For example, you think your police are the best. You think your coroner is the best. You think, whatever. And I know this because these people put on that stupid show last night, just started, called The Corner. It's a brand new show that just started. And, like, they think that what they do is better than anybody else in their state. You know what I mean? So when someone else does something, they're going to sit there and turn it and attack it and, oh, our corner's better and all this, like it's a battle of freaking football teams. You know what I mean? And so you got that going on. If someone does something specifically different in one area than they do in another area, you haven't even, like, those variables haven't even brought in. It's just some detectives just saying, hey, this is what was told to me, or this is what I, bullshit. You know what I mean? Bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm trying to think too. There was something else I read too about I think I told you, like, they were like looking into your background, like all your neighbors said that, like, you know, you were a good mom, you were a good teacher, like, you know, like when they heard the news come out, like they couldn't believe it because that's not the kind of person that you are, type thing. And I'm like, that right there should be, you know, proof. Because typically in situations where things like that actually do happen, like there's history of prior abuse. You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm the one been prior abused. Why would I abuse someone else? Like, I struggle mentally from the abuse I've been through, and have always been the person in every relationship that I've been the protector, especially over anyone that was under the age of 18. I'll tell you, I was so protective over my class that I would have went to it with my principal over them students. And I would have been like, don't come up in here in our classroom like this, trying to put my students out for, like, I would be, they can tell you, I was offensive over my students, because not that they were my kids, but I mean, they're with me 8 hours a day. You might as well be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if another teacher would say something bad about one of my kids, I automatically would, even if they were in the wrong, I would come to defense of, like, hey, don't be talking about my student like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just naturally who I am, because of how I was abused so much. And I always had to do so much as a child when I could be an adult when I should have been a child. So I try to understand and relate to the situations that students are in. I try to be like, you don't know what this student goes through when he goes home, so let's give him this benefit. You don't know why he didn't do his homework. He probably has to take care of all his siblings, cook dinner, and is tired as hell. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I had a no homework policy. I don't believe in homework unless someone was out, got behind, or they need to sit for tests. That's it. Because I know what those situations are like, and I know about how many times children are abused in those situations. Never, ever was there anything abusive from any child from me. Never. Never. They have nothing ever. So
yeah, and that's what they said too in that report that I was reading, is like like you've never had a history of like abuse towards children, like.
Right.
So that's another thing too, is like, why, like, you know, from what they're saying, if that's the case, then like, why would you just all of a sudden one day just, you know, decide to be like, you know what, nope, I'm just gonna totally change what I usually do. You know what I mean?
And don't come up with this shit about I'm tired of being the step parent shit, because here's why. I was not codependent on anyone. I had my own career, could set my own self up anywhere, and had already done that. People that like have dependency issues in terms of financial, people that have drug dependency issues, okay, I don't care who you are, I don't care who they bring from what part of this country, there's never anyone can say anything about me in drugs, anything about dependency on any kind of substance or anything. The only thing I ever took was lorazepam. I did not abuse lorazepam. I did not do anything of those sorts. No, have I ever showed up to work and anything like that. Most time when they're addicts, I hadn't even missed a day of work, except when I remember I went crazy after the concussion and got on the plane and went to Florida.
Yeah.
That was the only time I had even missed a day of work, because that's not who I am. So like, there's nothing like that shows anything of any abusive situation to anyone. And don't get me wrong, Them suckers say some shit like we're at the ball game or we were ice skating and someone tried to run over one of the kids with a darn thing. Of course, I'm gonna step in and be like, "What you doing, man? These are kids. You cut off their hands with them ice skates." Or don't be talking to them like this just because they are taking too long at the drink machine. I'm just naturally gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Like, I'll be out in public and I see people talking to their kids like garbage. Like, that drives me nuts. Like, they're children. Like, you don't talk to your children like that. You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. I'm tough as a parent when it comes to my beliefs versus the average person's beliefs because
Yeah.
dumbass used to be like, he would just let him roam the neighborhood. That's not me. He would just let him go to people's house and stay because he needs babysitters, so he was okay with that. That's not me. I don't. Every person can tell you from my past. Harley's friends, I knew their mom, their dad. I checked them out. I actually told them, Harley, you don't stay in anybody's house that I'm not allowed to eat dinner at. So if they've invited us in their home, and we eat dinner at their home before, and I've got to know who's there, especially if there's older brothers, or you know, like being a girl, you know, I need to know about the dad situation because I was enlisted by my stepdad. You know what I mean? I need to know who this man is in this home because if someone was to come in and hurt these girls, I need to know what this man's gonna do. You know what I mean? That's how funny I was. Like, so I'm strict on those aspects, and I'm OCD, obsessive compulsive. So if y'all want to say that because I'm clean as hell, and my silly will tell you I'm nuts when it comes to being clean. Stuff's on the floor, I'm down there scrubbing it up. I'm wiping. I'll take a toothbrush and clean stuff. That's just
Yeah, you're super clean. You take a bath in a bucket. Shut up, Letecia.
me. I don't believe. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I made coconut tea this morning. But anyway, don't let me forget to tell you.
Oh, yeah? Coconut
Yes,
tea?
I made coconut tea. Yeah. I'm nuts about that kind of shit, and everyone knows that. But that doesn't make me anything bad of a parent. That just makes me obsessive compulsive. Means I don't let shit slide. But I also am that parent that don't forget shit either. If there was a holiday coming up and it was, oh, they had to have this decoration for this day, or like tie-dye day, or like this or that, I already had it ready 2 weeks in advance, laid out.
Yeah.
If I was out of town, I had it so organized and laid out every day of the week for outfits for dumbass. So he didn't have to stress about what clothes had to be put on. I'm talking about it was down to a T. Here's the underwear, here's a pair of shorts, here's a collared shirt. This is going on this day, this is here, this is here, this is here. So you can't come up and say, oh my God, I'm so tired of doing all that, because it's my natural nature of being obsessive compulsive, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad thing too. Like that's I mean I'm the same way with my girls. Like well Taylor won't help just because in his mind that's a gender role thing. That's not his job. That's the woman's job. Which I don't care because like I like laying out their outfits. Like you know, and I am their mom, so like yeah, I guess it's kind of a gender role thing. I guess you think about it that way. But like I'm OCD too. But like. You know, and back to what you were saying about like being strict, like, you know, I'm strict with my kids, but I'm not like, you know, like abusive strict, you know what I mean? Like, I try to teach them morals, I try to teach them respect, like clean up after yourselves, hold the doors open for people type thing, like teaching them morals, as opposed to, you know, just like, you know, some parents I know there's like, oh, just do whatever you want, you know?
And the kids behaved with me. They knew my system. You do this, X, Y, and Z, you get this. They knew that's how I was. But see, they didn't have to get that attention from me because they already knew if they do these certain things, they get this. Because that's just how I love people. I wasn't giving love from her mom like that. So how am I going to give it to someone completely like that? I have to give it in another way. It might be 50% of loving this way and 50% of earning things. That's just me.
Right.
Because that's what I get from my mom.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with dumbass, you know, they'd have to act out to get attention from him because he was too busy doing God knows what. So it was a difference. So to be honest with you, it wasn't, you know, there's nothing about taking care of kids. Oh my God. All of us were fine. To be honest, all of us could have gotten our happy asses in the car and drove far away and never returned to him. So,
and you know what the sad part is? He probably would not have even cared.
No.
Like if Harley and Elena and Gannon just all left with you, he'd probably be like, well, less responsibility for me.
But my dumbass in this situation when literally G sat there and begged me to call his mom on that Sunday. I did not, because I was trying to get shit in order. Because at the end of the day now, let's be real, she's not a great parent either. So I have to be smart and thinking somewhere that's going to be financially stable versus somewhere that he's going to be a freaking, I mean, she's going to be all over the place, drugs, violence, all this. So that was me taking my time to process what situation would be better. At the end of the day, the best situation is get a daggone car and go with me back to South Carolina. If you want me to be honest.
Yeah. And I remember you told me too, like when you and Al first got married and he was out doing his own thing, didn't his kids end up staying with you in South Carolina for the most part?
And while we were in Alaska, I always had them. When he was in Colorado before we moved to Colorado, I had them back and forth. So none of that. First of all, if you want to commit crimes and you're going all over the world and no one was ever touched or endangered in any part of the world, come on now. Like, do you know how much of a slump the Dominican Republic is? Do you know how much of a slump Mexico is? Not to mention, Gannon actually went with us on the cruise. He's actually older. He could go to Camp Carnival. He could walk around the cruise, which, by the way, the minor he's walking around the cruise with was Thai, by the way. Where did they think it came up from? Myrtle Beach. Kids from Myrtle Beach to farm. What do you think they were just saying Myrtle Beach to farm? No. Albert knew this stupid
right? Yeah, because weren't G and Ty pretty good friends?
On the cruise, they played around, they did everything. Ty fell and got hurt on the cruise. Oh God, they're arguing about something. Oh, I don't know. They're fighting with some girl. Anyway, Ty had got hurt because he had slipped and fell on the cruise. Freaking, it was so crazy because they're running around again. It's like, we're looking for Ty's mom. And I'm over there like, shit. Yeah, like, oh God, what in the hell? First of all, you look at this lady who's hanging out with Edgar the whole time, and she got freaking blonde hair, blue eyes, and you sitting there looking at him, and he's light skinned. Don't get me wrong, but got dark ass hair and looks just like Harley.
Oh yeah.
So G wasn't even stupid. No, G wasn't stupid. He's just like, he'd always be like, Tisa, she looks just like you, Harley.
Does Ty have a social media at all?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's been shut down now. But prior to me being arrested, yes. He had a social media.
Was it under Ty or Tyler?
Tyler.
Does his last name start with an F? No.
Mm-hmm.
G?
He's got it under the T name. Someone stole his tablet.
Okay.
Oh, they're yelling about someone to just think about how the one with the F, how his name is shortened on Facebook. That's how Ty's was.
Okay.
It was shortened just like that instead of the whole name. But then at the slash, it has Tyler. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you said the last name was I'm so tired. I don't know. So tired. So it's Tyler, then it was
the T.
You said
the G and then the T. It's TGT. His initials.
TGT.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. And then listed on his birth certificate, the reason it has freaking my name, and then it has in the freaking parentheses Maria Sanchez. Because I was freaking nuts. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Which is why I told you about the doctor I had to call and not release that information. Remember I told you to get my number? That's why, because I didn't want any of that, because I couldn't help it. Like when I'm telling you, I used to go through so much with them and trying to figure out why I can't bring him back and all this shit like that. Like why come I can't go get him? Why come whatever? I'd go nuts and I'd be like yelling, I'm Maria Sanchez. And if it wasn't a million times getting therapy through those people when I was in Florida, I'd been like freaking nuts or dead. because I kept asking for help.
Well,
And like the thing about it was, and then Chance was sitting there like getting involved, and he was just like, he's probably my son. I'm like, dude, he looks, you're white as hell, and I get Harley looks the way she looks, but he has colored eyes.
Yeah.
Is there any colored eyes that in your family? You know what I mean? And like Chance's
Right.
family even.
Yeah, because
And so like in their mind, they were just looking at it like, y'all need to just get back together and stay together and get married, which is why me and Chance end up getting married. You know what I mean?
yeah. Do you have pictures of Ty on your Instagram?
I don't have anything of Ty on any of my social media because remember, Ty didn't necessarily find us out until we started Googling the archives, which is right before we went to Dominican.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why
Yeah,
we went to
no, that makes
Dominican with
sense. I
us.
gotcha. Yeah, okay.
Because Ty took it hard being like, oh, you're over here taking care of someone else's kids. Like, he had a hard time understanding until he couldn't put guilt on his dad. It was more guilt on me. I'm sorry, blame on his dad is more blame on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and he's over here like, you got a whole nother life. Whole nother family just doing your thing.
Ooh, it ended at 11:11. Oh my God.
That's how
Wow.
you know that whole story is a lie.
Yeah, and okay, oh my God, she makes me crazy. She really does. But did you answer me? Yes, you did. Okay.
I did.
I was just curious because you know how she grabs little things. I asked Jen in the back chat when the name Ty first came out, and I just was curious if she met Amy first because I feel like it's something she could have thought of quick on her feet. She always grabs shit from people around her. Amy's husband, Tyler, you know what I mean? Or Taylor.
Yes,
I'm
Taylor.
sorry.
Mhm.
I just wonder if that's part of it, or I don't know. I don't know. She's so full of
Also-
it though. It's annoying. The details
It's-
she goes into with her lies, Jen, it's like, oh my God, you are psychotic.
Exactly. It's on this imaginary child's birth certificate, bless his little heart, the mother is listed as Letecia, and in parentheses, Maria Sanchez. No.
Yeah. Oh my God. And yes, Amy did at one point say that the defense wounds could have been self-induced.
Yes.
Like, you stupid ass. I'm sorry, Amy. That was so fucking ignorant. And Jen, does she believe her? She's sitting there she is high as a damn kite. She don't have a care in the world. But do you think she's sitting there where she was literally laughing? Like, that was a true laugh right before it ended. Is she believing the BS from Tisha? Is she like at all, or does she know she's full of it?
When they first started talking, I feel like Amy was like feeling her out. But I think over time, Amy went from trying to figure out Letecia to believing Letecia. And I think that, it's hard to wrap your head around how somebody who is, while talking to Letecia, she's also going online and reading the details of the preliminary hearing and, facts, and yet still believes Letecia. And let me just say this too, which I don't even know why I'm saying it because it's super freaking obvious. Letecia, the detectives may be relaying what it wasn't the coroner, it's the medical examiner, dum-dum, what the coroner told them, or what the report from she's got me doing it, what the medical examiner's report said, read, what they wrote in the report. It's not the detective's narrative. It's not like the detective is the one testifying that this happened this way. What likely they're talking about is what the state probably used the autopsy report in her preliminary hearing. We know they did, right? But they're not going to they're not going to pay for the medical examiner who was in Florida to come to a preliminary hearing. The report is enough because a preliminary hearing is just to make sure that the state has enough evidence to hold this person for this crime.
Yep.
So that's all that it is. So stop trying to make it like everybody in Colorado conspired against you, and just for good measure, they roped in a few folks from Florida. Stop it.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It is so disgusting. And yeah, when Patricia mentioned this, and I'm so glad she did, because I almost asked you to pause, but we were trying to get through it. Okay, so when she said that Gannon on Sunday, G, she called him G on Sunday, was begging to call his mom. Like, that just hit me in the gut, and I almost think that's also her leaking more.
Yes,
but it's also, yeah, it's, I think it's the truth, but it's sad. It's just sad.
it is sad.
And I hope and pray that she never hears that.
Me too. Hi, Shamita. Thanks for being a member for 25 months. I like you too.
Big crumbs leaking into. I think that's
But
what they called it during the trial, though. Yeah.
She does leak. Little tidbits come out. And I used to think that maybe she would leak just enough information that we could maybe piece together the candle story. But I don't think so. Because the candle story on its face just does not make sense. And the thing is, I know everybody says, and he does, that Gannon refers to his burns in that video. But Gannon also sounds confused. And it's almost, some of it sounds to me like it's scripted. Like that is what Letecia told him to say. So I don't know. There's something that nags at me and my gut and says that the fire was a setup to cover up what actually happened that day.
Yeah, I agree. And she did not want Gannon to go to tell. That's what I
exactly
think, period. So.
Exactly. I think what happened is, after she made that video, throughout the night on Sunday into Monday, Letecia knew that she had gone way too far and there was not going to be any coming back from it. And I actually think that why she took Gannon all around was to keep an eye on him, because she didn't want him to call for help or leave the house and try to get help, because he, at that point, could, he was still able to walk and under his own power. Right. And I think she was really driving around and doing all the going to the stores and stuff because she was trying to figure out what to do. She was trying to create some type of alibi, some type of story. And I just, there's just something wrong with the candle story. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep. No, it doesn't. Not especially when you know that it wasn't just one piece of carpet that she burned and replaced. She did that twice. None of it makes sense, especially when you know that, that evening you hear that audio and video of him, that he was trying to talk to his parents. She took his phone. About the trip the next day, and she's pretending to be him on his phone. There's more to it, and she was afraid that I don't know. I think she was afraid that he was going to tell whatever that more to it is.
Right.
And we'll probably never know. And
we will probably never know. At Low Red says, not so sure. I think she just wanted the story from Letecia to sell. I don't think Amy believed her. She has to play along. I thought that in the beginning, Low Red, but the longer we go, the more conversations they have together, the things that Amy says, she's not that good of an actress.
Yes. And I'm with you, Jim, because like even just now when she's telling the story about the AKA Maria Sanchez on the birth certificate or whatever it was, Amy like belted out this laugh that was so genuine. I think that she has to be in this at least a little bit. I do believe that, like, she believes it and she's like fully in.
Exactly. I think over the time that Letecia and Amy have been communicating, I think Letecia converted her from being I'm going to get to the bottom of this and try to figure out Letecia to sold. I believe the things that Letecia said. She believes that Letecia actually has mental, or not mental, but dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, Mayla's mom said she wanted us to check out her theory. She says maybe he fell asleep and she woke him up by burning him and made him think he turned it over while sleeping. I could see that, especially, you know,
That's
the couch.
a good point.
Mm-hmm. I could
It's
see that.
just,
But Bendy,
you got to go. I
go
know.
ahead.
No, you got to
Yeah,
go.
because
I
even
know.
Bentley's still up, and yeah, and
I know.
I got to help with him and stuff. So yes, and I love you so much, and
I love you
thank
too, babe.
and I'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, finish your thought though, because I want to hear what you were going to say first.
The thing that doesn't make sense about the candle story is the actual evidence. The carpet, the couch, and that part of it doesn't make sense. The blood stain, I hate talking like this, is under the wax, which means it came first. It takes, even when you have low grade carpet and a low grade, what is that? What's between the carpet and the subflooring? Padding.
Yeah.
Padding, even low grade padding is somewhat thick. So for it to have gotten from the carpet through the backing of the carpet onto the carpet pad, and then, which is spongy material, and then through the carpet pad to the subfloor, there was quite a bit there. So what I think the reason of the candle story was, I think the candle story was just that, a story. I think that whatever happened, I think with respect to the candle, was only to hide what actually happened before that. That's what I think. We will never know for sure, because let's be honest, even if we were to ask Letecia and she said, okay, I promise I'm gonna, night babe, I know you got to go, Allie. Even if Letecia said, I promise, I'm going to tell the truth, we wouldn't believe her anyway, because she's a liar.
Yep, you're so right about that. It's just really sad thinking about, like, I don't know. It's just so sad thinking about what he went through. Like, the part that haunts me the most, and you remind me of that with your comment about the padding, is him laying in that bed overnight and, you know, probably injured, because we see him stumbling out. We don't know exactly. Some of that blood could have happened before that final attack in the room down there, but just him laying in that bed in the cold, you know, right, with the wind, like, oh my God, she's just so awful. And, you know, even Harley and them, she brings Harley down to say goodnight. She can't go all the way in to see.
Uh-oh. That was the end of that. Oh, there she is.
How scary that must have been.
It was probably horrifying. It was probably terrifying.
God almighty.
You know?
All right, Bendy. Yeah. I love you.
All right,
I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you, Jen. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks for being here, babe. Bye. I mean, I'll say this. I don't know that. One of the things that they didn't really answer at trial was the situation with the candle, and how this all actually came to be. What started all of this? And I think there's a reason for that, because they couldn't, and they actually didn't end up really needing to, because not guilty by reason of insanity is an affirmative defense. So she was already admitting that she did it. So I think that I don't know. We'll probably never know the full story. And the truth of the matter is, I think on some level, each one of our individual pieces and theories are probably, if we put them together in the right order, we probably have all of the pieces and we're probably right. It's just trying to figure out that order. And and it did, Alicia, the candle did confuse them at trial. They didn't understand. They don't know what to make of it. So it's all of it's sad. All of it's sad. And I think they don't, I don't think they know either. I don't think they know either. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it so very, very much. Shauna, I hope you feel better, babe. And if you haven't done so, give your girl a thumbs up. And I'm going to play the outro and call it a night. And I will see you guys all tomorrow night over on Allie's channel to finish up the lawsuit. And also, don't you worry, I am fully aware that Sarah Boone done filed the five motions, and you know she's wordy, so that's going to be at least 11 billion pages, and I check 3 times a day, so hopefully we'll get it soon. All right, you guys, good night. Bye.
Cause it's Friday. You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do. Well, fuck you.
No malicious intent or effort was towards this.
No militia. Finish her!
Minutes later.
We all do a little mad sometimes.
And you know this, man.